You have a real moustache now. So
I do.
Tug on it, Laurel, and see if it is. Tug on it.
I do. Yeah, don't.
We love it when this gentleman comes to visit us, basically because he always brings me a bottle of champagne and you boys get a few little gifts as well.
Don't you worry about that. We've got the Killer Queen.
And for good reason too, he's got a lot to celebrate at the moment. The lead singer of Killer Queen, John Blunt.
Yeah!
I must say, the time I saw you guys live, I couldn't believe it. I always wanted to see Queen. We've had this conversation before.
Yes.
Never got to see them, and I think you guys would be the closest thing ever. I just stood there mesmerised.
Oh, thank you, Laurel. Well, I was in a covers band. There was a Halloween night, and I said, let's all just come as our favourite rock star. I slicked my hair back, and I painted on a mustache. I think I had an armband or something, really tight jeans. And I walked out, and they just all looked at me and went, I know you're taking the piss, but it's really scary. It's just snowballed, and I realised that I could probably do this. I did rehearse it for a long time. I watched a heap of live music, worked on it, worked on the voice. I don't sound like Freddie, no one sounds like Freddie. But I think that I can mimic things close enough. Okay.
Like a phone.
Like a phone. Yeah. I'm throwing my voice at the moment.
Are you ready?
Do you like to refer to it as a tribute band? How do you like to?
Well, it's a tribute really, because cover bands basically play covers from all different types of artists. We just cover one artist. We tribute Queen. We've got probably the best lineup we've ever had now, and Wayne, my bass player, has been with me pretty much from day one.
It was evolving slowly, I suppose, back 14 years ago.
The guitarist, but he's been like almost 3 years.
I was working for Queen out of Boondall, stood right beside Brian May, and I was like, hey, you look a bit like me. John called me a week later, come for an audition.
I've known Wayne for a while. I played in bands with Wayne. He invited me along to see the show. I went up to say hello, and he said, oh, we're looking for a new drummer.
3 years later, I've been here, rock and roll, man, yeah.
I've been with the band for about 2 years now.
Our keyboard player, Randall, we don't like him.
I think by this time next year I'll be running it, and it'll become Randall and the Killer Queens. But up till then, I'm just biding my time before I take on world domination.
Been with the show 9 years now.
But I was raised on Platters, Chuck Berry, Little Richard. It was kind of that first generation of rockers that I found just so interesting and primal, and it's rock and roll. This is embarrassing. I used to love wrestling, Hulk Hogan, and still do. There was a wrestler called the Junkyard Dog. And when he walked to the ring, he walked out to Another One Bites the Dust. And I just thought, what is that song? And I was just mesmerised by it.
I remember Another One Bites the Dust on a record player at a friend's place, and that was it, you know. Every morning, it was blast that out.
It's amazing how many songs I knew already before I joined this band that I didn't know I knew.
So I did my own research, and when I saw Freddie, I've never seen anyone like him. He was amazing.
I remember as a little kid putting my sister in the bounce in it and putting on Flash, and she'd just be screaming her head off as we played the record, the Flash to her.
I bought News of the World when I was in high school. Spread Your Wings was my favourite song for, must have been weeks. Yeah, and at 16, that's a long time.
The first album I bought was the Greatest Hits album. A lot of Queen fans are disgusted when they hear that.
On live when I was, let's say 14, I was 15. First big show ever. 6 mates together, off to the Sydney Entertainment Centre to go and see Queen. Best gig of my life. I wish I could relive it, you know, like seriously. It just blew my mind.
Beautiful. I've paid my dues.
We've watched your career just go gangbusters. I mean, a lot of the times, we've got to be fair, there are a lot of tribute acts that they're doing the same venues that they were doing 10 and 20 years ago. You guys are travelling all around the world now. You're getting gigs here and there.
And not just recognised in Australia, you are these days recognised internationally. Most people think you're Freddie Mercury, but you are recognised internationally.
It's crazy, you know, that 15 years of hard work, you expect it to pay off, and it's paying off, you know.
I've been to some amazing countries, Norway, India, Singapore, to name a few.
Every nook and cranny of Australia and beyond, you know.
It's a great ride.
And massive crowds. I saw a shot the other night of a massive great crowd coming to see Killer Queen.
The biggest moment where I actually got choked up, we do a festival in Norway, and we had to close the event. The song We Are the Champions is what the promoter said, I want that. Anyway, we did the show and it was absolutely amazing, and I was getting good. They just kept cheering and cheering and cheering, and yeah, that will stick with me for a very long time. We do a lot of cruise ships when you can stand up and get a standing ovation from a group of people who are killing time. Most of them aren't really Queen fans. You know, without blowing my own trumpet, we must be doing something right. We went to India, and I think there was like 300 people there. We're backstage, and the promoter said, "Is it okay if we bring back some people?" I said, "Yeah, no, of course, bring them back." I think all 300 came back. It was crazy, and there were people crying when they were coming up to me, and I thought, was I that bad? They were giving me gifts and a blessing, and he said, you know, good things are going to come to you, and I can promise you this. I feel it, and it was only a couple of months later, I was phoned to do the bio documentary in London.
I was flown to London to film a bio documentary on Freddie Mercury's life.
By all accounts, it's a really great doco.
Yeah. I mean, it had its critics that it went into too much of Freddie's, you know, sort of personal life. But like a lot of people said, I think most people knew that Freddie lived a lifestyle that was pretty different to everybody else's, and it never really gets talked about.
It was called The Freddie Mercury Story, Who Wants to Live Forever?
It was basically a bio docudrama about his life.
Yep.
They were interviewing people within his life, so there was tour managers, really good friends, and I basically reenacted all those scenes.
That was absolutely surreal. I'd been to France for a lookalike competition, and one of the guys owns a lookalike agency. He just gave me a Facebook message and said, "Would you like to audition for this Freddie Mercury role?" I thought, "Oh, okay." I said, "What's involved?"
I want to break free.
They're going to talk about what he did, his friends, and he said, "You just reenact. It'll be easy." And I thought, "Oh, I can do that." But it was hard because it was heaps of dialogue.
Yeah, that was. I mean, I just landed. It's the first time I've been to London. I was told that it wasn't going to be a lot of acting, so I thought, great, because I'm not a great actor. But the first bit of acting I had to do was snog the new boyfriends. That was. It was good.
Welcome to London.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And you were on the phone to your wife after shooting and trying to explain, "So how was your day, dear?"
Oh yeah, I know. It was funny, but the guy that was acting as Freddie Mercury's lover, I said to him, "I'm just really nervous. So I'm not sure if I'm going to make this look real." But after we spent the night together, we practiced.
Does he still send you cards?
Mainly around Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Doing the death scene, that was really surreal. I had nightmares that night. I think Freddie was, look, I don't want to sound ridiculous, but I think he might have been okay with it. It wasn't a nightmare, it was an anxiety attack or a panic attack that after I'd done it, I was just like, I hope if he, wherever he is, he's approved of it, or at least his family and friends are. It was hard. It was really hard to do.
So I've been invited back to England. So I'm going to do some showcase gigs over there, a little bit of TV, a little bit of radio. My plans are to take Killer Queen back to the UK and then to the States and do some shows.
As we speak, Jordan's going to be starring in a Las Vegas show in a couple of months. Busy year next year, really busy. Killer Queen will be booked. I mean, I'm looking at next year and it's pretty solid already. You know, we've got Norway, Tasmania, Sydney.
Might get into some cruise ships. They might go back to Singapore, Hong Kong. Get a couple more steps in the passport, yeah.
You can smoke in here, can you? No. Yeah, no, well, let's go. We do Under Pressure. It's one of their biggest hits, and because I do the Bowie part, we said, well, how about we put a show together? We've got a haircut, a few costumes together, and we're off, you know. So we've done a few gigs, and we're going to tie that up with Killer Queen. We'll go on the road as a joint entity, which no one else has really done. Yeah, I was a big Bowie fan. Probably not the biggest Queen, but studying Bowie and getting into the character and all that stuff, now I've become a much bigger fan.
I'd love to do some more acting work. I'd really love to do that. That was such a wonderful experience. Surreal. It was mind-blowing, but I'd love to do a little bit more of that. So as long as the voice is still there and I feel as though I'm not disappointing anybody and it still looks okay, I'd like to go for maybe another 6 or 7 years. Do some more theatres and just do things a bit differently.